Malaysia is now lacking of high-level engineers, or they call as specialist engineer. So that's actually according to the MITI Minister Tengku Zafrul. Is Malaysia lacking of engineers or high-level engineers? In this video, we'll discuss about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we'll continue talking about engineering and other interesting stuff. So in this article, okay, it was quite recent, yesterday, people are talking about Malaysia is now trying to get more engineers, like specialist engineer. So what do you mean by specialist engineer? So let's break it down. Basically, those specialists or high-level engineers are those usually in a niche industry. So the niche industry that they're talking about are those like, for example, IC design. Those are areas that are quite small and quite specific. At the same time, it's also very important because when you're in a niche field, if you are expert in that area, definitely you'll get more advantages because you study something in detail in a very specific way on that field. So if you are expert or you are specialist, definitely you are basically expert in that field. So Malaysia now needs those engineers, especially the semiconductor industry. According to the government, Malaysia wants to transform themselves from the user of technology into the leader or creator of technologies. So one of the fields that they're focusing is semiconductor industry, and then you have National Semiconductor Strategy (NSS). So there's a blueprint that actually encourage or propel Malaysia to greater heights in terms of science and technology, or maybe semiconductor itself. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So the question is, why are there so many engineering graduates from Malaysia? They are not getting jobs, or even they're not getting jobs that actually they want. And also, even they get the jobs, there's a serious issue of underpay. So what do I mean by underpay? I just came across from the article talking about Malaysia engineers salary dilemma. So this is actually an issue that's haunting Malaysia, not recently, but many years. How do you actually attract talents to work in that industry, especially when you are seriously or severely underpaid? So from this article, it did mention about the 35% of junior engineers in Malaysia can earn less than 2,000 ringgit. For information, according to the latest labor law, the minimum wages is 1,700. And can you imagine, after studying for so many years, 4 years, and you spend time in engineering, okay, that's what you got. So of course, people are saying that you need experience. You need years of experience to build your expertise, to have technical skills, to build your soft skills, to be engineers. So as an engineer myself for more than 6 years, engineer can be a very interesting field, but it can be very frustrating, especially when you're not getting like well-paying jobs. And also the jobs that you're doing right can be high-risk job as well. So what I mean by high risk? Okay, you are bearing the risk. If let's say something wrong, be it the system and also the things that you're doing or you're directing, so it might cost life as well. Okay, for example, you're doing constructions, you are doing project management, or even you are doing some kind of high-risk machine design. So those are things, right? As the risk is quite high actually. But the good thing is that it is a very important role that a country needs in order to propel a country to greater heights in terms of national development. But the pay is definitely one of the main factors causing them not to become engineers, because it's very discouraging. If you are studying marketing, for example, probably you get much better jobs or with much better pay compared to engineers. So that's what's happening in Malaysia. And as someone who has been working in Singapore before, right? So a lot of Malaysians love working in Singapore because of conversion rate. It's not really about getting a good pay in Singapore, because in Singapore also there are quite a lot of industries or quite a lot of companies offering like the salary for engineers below average salary. Okay, which is actually underpaid as well, according to what I know, because I was working there for 3 years, and some of my friends from Singapore told me try to avoid engineering jobs because it's underpaid. Right, that could be something that a lot of people are taking into considerations when it comes to becoming engineers. Underpay is an issue, but it will not stop government from encouraging more people to join STEM industries. So in my opinion, okay, I want to share my opinion about what are the things maybe the government can focus on. Just my personal opinion. Alright, so instead of just focusing on helping the Malaysian engineers to get like jobs, So I think we should focus on something practical. For example, the government, like the universities, should cooperate with industries or companies that should have like early collaborations and also focus on like long-term attachment instead of just focusing on 3-month internship. I think 3-month internship is not enough. It's just for someone to go there just to pass the internship requirement. But if you have like a real internship or attachment with the company where you're allowed to build prototype or you do FYP, final year project with that company itself, or you can join them to build MVP, minimum viable products, to test the market or even to solve some of the pain points faced by the society. So those are things that maybe the government should focus on. Instead of focusing on doing FYP with professors in the university and focus on theory, I think it's more important to even commercialize some of the FYP ideas or give students an option whether they should go for theory-based FYP or product-based FYP. So I came across with this news about China where recently they're even trying to make PhD to be more on product-based instead of thesis. Well, this is not something very new, and it has been happening in other countries like Singapore or even Germany. So they call it as professional doctorate. Okay, it's not PhD. PhD is more on thesis or theory based. But the thing is that this idea can be applied into our FYP, even during the bachelor level. We can start all this as early as 3rd year, where we can allow engineers in the universities to be given any options. Maybe they can choose to go for a normal engineering, or they can choose to go to be, trained to be specialized in certain fields. So there should have options for university as early as 3rd year or 2nd semester of 3rd year to choose the specialization that they want to do. And that will be even better because once we already have that clear direction, the engineers, maybe they can focus on certain specialization, and if they are interested, they can join that industry and eventually grow with the company and train the local talents. So that could be something that maybe the government can focus on, and we can start early and not just to wait until they graduate and to help them to solve the unemployment issues and also the job mismatch, which is something very serious and it's not an easy issue to be solved because this is also happening in many countries, not only like in Malaysia. Okay, there could be something that is actually haunting engineers or discouraging many people from joining engineering industries. It is a very interesting industry because you need engineers to develop the countries, to build everything that you are using, you are applying, you are enjoying. Alright, that could be my opinion. And that's all for the video. So what do you think about Malaysia? And should Malaysia like loosen the the law where they allow foreigners or foreign students studying in Malaysia to work as engineers? Well, I don't deny that there are a lot of talents from other countries. I think that they should focus on both things, one externally and one internally. From an internal perspective, they should focus on the local talents and how to give them like placement, attachment to industries, or maybe do FYP and do prototypes with the company directly. Maybe the FYP can be co-supervised by professor and industrial engineers. Okay, both can be their supervisors. That would be even better. And from the external perspective, maybe they can focus on getting foreign talents that are actually expert in their areas, and of course give them like a professional work pass to encourage foreigners to work in Malaysia. So we see synergy from local talents and also the foreign talents. They can work together to achieve synergies and to prepare Malaysia, of course, to become a great country. Alright, so that's my opinion from this video, and hope you guys like it. So if you like the content like this, please don't forget to follow, where I talk about engineering, okay, like tips, even to study abroad, travel abroad, and even to work abroad as well. So don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and see you in the coming videos. Bye bye.